confident on their own ascent.
You know, I was speaking to Vanity behind the scenes during that Fnatic game. We were talking about Boasters, attack side, round 3 Odin. I don't know if we might have lit a spark inside him. Maybe we're going to get to see it here today, but
yeah,
he's always someone to rely on.
Round 3 judge.
That's, now, listen, let's stick with the Odin. Let's stick with the Odin in that case.
Would you rather be coming into this straight off the back of a result like that against Fnatic, or have a break and
have a break?
Recalibrate?
I think C9 have the upper hand. They got, especially because it's the same map, they got to watch this team play. Yeah. And the thing is, Cloud9 might have fixed some of their problems. I don't think FENNEL physically had time to. They can reflect individually, they can have a quick conversation, but there was no, oh, yo, let's hop on a server, what if we incorporate this recon or this? No, it's theory verbally, and that's it, and that's very tough in such a short turnaround to make that work. At the same time, it was a close game, so we can be inspired that they might be able to bring it across the line, but tactically, I think it's undoubted that C9 had the edge in that regard.
Well, Tom, one thing's for sure, certain thing that both these teams have in common, and that is that the safety net is now gone. You lose this and you leave the tournament. Mitch, Tom, it's Cloud9 versus FENNEL.
And it's quick. It's a very quick start. They've already pushed straight through B main on the side of C9, taking space with a paranoia and trying to follow up with some kills. I love the idea. Unfortunately, the execution didn't work out because FENNEL were quick to adapt. They fell back and they avoided being caught off guard in a fight there. I like the response from this attacking side of FENNEL. Now let's see what they do. That might almost be a direct counter from C9.
Yeah, they were just trying to pressure them, make things a little bit more awkward for FENNEL, who might have had more opportunity to try and execute in the last one. Mid control being battled for hard, but Oxy is going to go down. Good start for Clouds as well. Shock dart.
Nice.
Going to do...
Look how low they are.
Too much, yeah, from the initial fights, but even still, they've kept that man advantage alive as they look to rotate back around to this A site, which is currently empty, although there is still some Killjoy utility from Curry. And we saw in that first game, he was putting up numbers, the super sub, the stand-in. He definitely wasn't their reason for losing. There's no doubt about that.
No, absolutely not. Playing off-site here, avoiding the KO knife. Still gives them that utility, and there it is, activated. Great damage. It forces Sayuda forward, and they punish. This couldn't have went better with a turret kill. CL said Klaus was extremely low.
Wow.
Well, Curry, he wasn't the reason for losing last time. He's the reason for winning this pistol.
Yeah, and he managed to do an unbelievable amount of damage with the Nano Swarm. So he got 4 kills and an assist. Not a bad round whatsoever. Timmy the turret. It's unusual. You see pretty much every single piece of utility from a Killjoy doing work for the squad. Yeah. And he's not going to buy back in with a rifle as well.
And that Nano, I mean, the Nanos, they didn't get a kill, but they did gift a kill to the squad that Sayuda being out of position.
Something to mention as well. Okay, they did technically win a second round in that first match, but they lost both pistols. So it's already a different story to the Zeta game because they've got off to a strong start. And look, I'll be honest, if Cloud9 lose this round against 1 Sheriff and 4 Classics, I'm worried.
Yeah, that wouldn't it wouldn't be a great start. I mean, we've seen them lose to pistols.
Ares. You love the Ares.
No, listen, this is where myself and Vanity might deviate slightly in theory. I think I would rather have a water pistol than an Ares in a round like this, in any round, to be honest. It's just not conducive to a good time, especially as a Sova. Water pistol, then you shock dart them, double damage. But yeah, we'll see if he's able to get anything done with it. He's already swapped it to Curry.
Next stage.
Oh, Oxy, he's got a chance here. Great opportunity. Nobody's got shields. Just a body shot needed, but none found.
Oh, wow. Pop Flash
lunatic
through his own fragment. Obviously, Zeppa, we've noticed that he has got a keen eye when it comes to this Stinger. Never mind, he's gone down almost instantly to the Classic. Any damage that can be done here from FENNEL would be sublime, but they are now being quickly cleaned up. There's going to be Curry to get that 1 kill with the Ares. A few players lost along the way, but ultimately only going to be a couple of kills.
Yeah, especially in a round where C9 invest relatively heavily, picking out a Vandal and a Guardian, still being able to carry both of those through to this round. Having an Ares, you know, in my opinion, a drawback. But the reality is, they can afford to lose those 2 players as long as those weapons were still carried forward. Now they've got a decent buy, a pistol in the hands of Curry, which is just funny. He's been playing great so far, but now he's got a bit of a bigger challenge. Do the same thing with a Ghost in hand.
Yeah, this is around. You get 5 kills. You know what? Give me a gun.
Yeah, but they want to keep his utility online. He's playing retake on A, info on short, and that's about all he's got to do. The rifles instead are the ones pushing up, taking some space on B, and trying to fight very early on because of those aggressive stances. They've rotated in, and there's 5 players outside of A, but there's also 4 players inside of A. And those are the attackers. Doors wide open. That's awkward with Clouds down. They've got to completely reroute their plans. The timing's out. A headshot hit as well on Sayuda. That was a gorgeous shot. Hit initially by Vanity, followed up on by Jake, and the kills keep on going their way. This was supposed to be a bonus. There were weaknesses across the board, but C9, it didn't look like there was any weaknesses, only their strengths on display here.
Yeah, they were able to delay just for such a ridiculous amount of time off the back of killing that planter. Then everybody was in on the rotation, wallbangs coming through to just not allow them any positions, and solid utility as well. And a lot of that's coming off really sort of aggressive pushes on one side of the map.
See those replays, just there were a couple of trades for sure, but when there's rifles in the hands of FENNEL, that is really where you want to see them deliver. And we mentioned earlier, it's their first time walking out on stage. It's Cloud9's second. I don't think it's that much of a buff to have walked out once before, but the idea that for one of these teams, it was their last time to mount that stage, and soon they will leave it for the final time as well. In the back of the minds of FENNEL as this match develops. A few pistols and a Marshall in play for the attacking side. And it looks like some space taken around mid as they destroy the alarm bot, but they're still leaving lurkers on the extremities, so you could easily see them change direction and move back towards short or B main. For now, though, it's aggression through to the spawn. 2 players spotted. Info there. An execution from Oxy. Whiffs a little bit on the second kill, but he has deterred their aggression, and that's all he needed to do.
Yeah, so far, like, things from FENNEL have just looked disjointed. Like, one player fighting one angle, another fighting the other, and it just means there's been no opportunities for trades. It is the same in their execution. Like, it just looked like they were really messed up by what C9 have been able to do with just like fairly basic pieces of utility. So I think they may. I wouldn't even mind if they took an early pause just to try and almost center themselves a little bit. Push through. Oh, God. Zep's going to want to forget about that one. But either way, it is looking like a fairly easy cleanup in the end. Oxy, well, he doesn't miss towards the end of the round.
Well, they voted Zeppa most likely to win a 1v5. And, well, it's a little bit awkward in the 1v1 there, but we know that's not a typical day for him. 4-0 start. Very strong for C9. I see the timer paused up top on the server. I'm assuming we've got a timeout for the side of FENNEL, not wanting to let this slip away too much, and I think it will be the right call. This is a very important round for them. They've got economy. You can see, obviously, this round was an eco. It's why they get so little done in terms of damage. But the next is going to be all important. Round number 5, if C9 win, they will run away with this. Their credits are already stacked extremely high, so for FENNEL, it's not just about winning one round. It's about winning one round and then consistently being able to put them on the board till they break that C9 economy.
Well, there we go. It is going to be the FENNEL tactical. Now, they are actually very close to quite a lot of their ultimates already. Lockdown one away. You've also not too far off a Hunter's Fury. And also a null come up. But the same is going to happen for the other side. In fact, Oxy already having his Blade Storm online is pretty daunting. And also just the credits. Like C9, they've not just won 4-0, but 3 of their players have only died once. So they're going to have plenty of reserves in terms of the economy. Now, you have to think back to what was happening when they faced off against Zeta. They kept losing to pistols, so they never had themselves any economy, and they kept boosting the money for the side of Zeta division. So this is already looking like a completely different scenario so far for C9. And I do feel like if FENNEL don't break back relatively soon, this game could get very far out of control very fast.
Well, you just saw the coaches get their final countdown, the hand signals telling them that it's time to close that mouth and open back up the server. Get back on for round number 5 as C9 are going to be tested yet again. Vanity playing an Odin on short. Now that's a play I'm a big fan of. We're going to get a recon dart up and in. That wall potentially broken and a spray right after, but it's all to support that B main aggression. They've already gotten up in their faces with Oxy picking up a quick double, dodging bullets like it's a Matrix movie, and they've left a very low HP Rhea to fall all the way back to spawn. Complete denial of any game plan from FENNEL, and that's devastating, Tom. If you start out a round after attack pause where you've sat down and, okay, guys, what do we want to do? Yeah, we'll take a little control here, then we've got the utility there, and your whole plan is set out in front of you. And then they just go, no, we're going to get in your face, screw your plan, and now you've got to pick up the pieces.
Well, it's also just the fact that they have the paranoia and then the spam coming through, so the only way you can go is back.
Yep.
Like, there's not really any space. They've done that push a couple of times, and the fact is, it also seems like C9 are just very aware of the gaps that they're leaving. Like, 2 players sat back watching for that push down into mid. FENNEL, honestly, they're being herded like sheep at the moment. C9 are just pushing and pulling exactly where they want to go, and it just leaves gaps. So many gaps. It's many times now that FENNEL have just been caught with a player looking completely the wrong way and no support, and I think they just have to save. Like, there's nothing you can do to get back into this round. Look at the positions already with still mid control. They have deep A control. And they have a player just watching B main in case they go that way. Yeah, just hold on to your guns.
They've also been fought from every angle. There were players watching spawn. There were players pushed up at market. They might not be able to carry these guns forward, though. The aggression has come out. Cloud's stuck in the corner, and he saw, obviously, that was Zeppa.
Yeah,
they knew one flash was used. He thought a second was coming, but there were none left, and Vanity even closes it out with an Odin kill in the attacker spawn. Not something you're going to see every day. Actually, not something you're going to see most days, but today, unfortunately for FENNEL, is the day for it. And this is a round where we're going to see a lot of ults from FENNEL in the upcoming one. But the economy was put on the line here, and not much of a reward to be found.
No, I do really love the setup that C9 are almost rinsing, but I almost feel like that one setup has been successful enough that they almost don't need to show too much more.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
This is looking so ridiculously clean. Again, like 2 players on their team have died once. One of those players is Oxy. Now, just think back to what we've seen so far from Oxy and realize he's died once, and you understand how this game is going. Like, the last round, he ran straight through B main.
And dashed through.
And got 2 kills, and then dashed back.
Dash back, yeah.
So, like, it's been absurd the way things have been going so far. And although we don't see too many sort of stressed out faces on the side of FENNEL, this is their tournament life on the line, and well, they're lounging.
It's a staple. It's a staple, especially of North American Valorant. They're chilling during this pause.
If they were holding their mouse, they'd be doing the JDM.
This is obviously a technical pause. You can see Gone there. Beautiful hair, by the way. I don't know. Are you jealous, Tom?
Obviously.
Naturally.
Obviously.
I don't think you could pull off that hairstyle. I'll be honest.
Well, I can't pull off any hairstyle because I don't have hair.
Bald. But yeah, Gone was obviously having a little bit of an issue. I think re-plugging in the mouse, and you know, I don't blame him. It's been tough. It's been tough for the side of FENNEL so far, and for C9. You know, like you're saying, you show one thing, it works this well. You know, not expecting much.
Have they done that setup 3 times? I think.
Yeah, it was pistol round, it was that round, and
they've added the odd element in, like the Odin spamming through the wall was not there the first time, obviously, but yeah, they haven't really needed to show much whatsoever. And it looks like, the thing is, for FENNEL, it almost looks like it's just keeping them out of their game. Like, they're unable to get to a point where they can actually like put in an execution because of the fact that they're just being pushed so regularly. And then you have to bear in mind, this is before we've seen anything like an operator where like map control can really be fought for.
I do wonder for FENNEL, you know, obviously the key thing to say is that because this is a technical pause, you're not going to have that communication there. It's not like the coaches get to use this time to reassess strategy. That's why C9 are styling on the other side, just sitting back. And to be honest, there is actually genuinely something to be said about having that approach. Obviously, I think some of it is a bit of showboating, but on the other side, you also want to be able to keep that heart rate low, keep yourself calm, relaxed.
I love that you got the tech guy who's trying to fix the PC and he just flexes to the camera.
See, Gone is what a lot of his fans say is Gone machine, right?
Okay.
And his machine's gone now. It's gone AWOL.
Yeah, that is true.
So
I saw Ian set up a TV earlier, so I wonder if man of many talents.
He's about to pop up on the screen.
Send him down.
So
should we send him down?
I think he's about to appear.
If he turns his mic on, maybe we get the answer. But
Ian,
can you work it out?
If you were on that stage, how would you fix this issue from what you're seeing?
I was just being helpful in the green room. We needed a TV setup. I set it up. I know how to switch like to HDMI 1 or whatever, but that's where my skill set ends. I'd just probably go down there and entertain. I'm not doing it now.
I've heard you do a mean Fortnite.
Entertain how? Yeah, is it a dance? You'd be just styling on
I'd rap
in front of him? You'd
rap.
Wap?
I would.
Oh, rap. Sorry.
Yeah, I'd
sorry.
rap, yeah.
Must have heard that wrong.
There's a 30 there's a 30-minute section cut out for a performance. Are we seeing?
Are we allowed to reveal this?
Are we seeing Deeks?
No, that's not me.
Yeah,
don't bring my rap name up.
I've heard good things.
You haven't. Yeah, I've not told you anything about that.
We're gonna republish the videos.
I've heard
What have you heard?
you were a support act for Big Nasty.
That did happen
Which is insane.
in a previous life. Yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, moving on, is that apparently we do have a bit of a blockbuster performance on this stage by a rapper from Japan tomorrow.
Which is insanely hype.
Which is insanely
I cannot
hype.
wait.
I bet this is what's so cool, right? When
Is
you
it
imagine, when you imagine these,
He's more of a singer.
these super cool.
He can rap. He can rap. I don't know what I'm saying.
Don't do him like that.
When you imagine these like legendary sumo wrestlers in the center of this arena battling it out,
Yeah.
however many decades ago, right? I bet none of them ever thought, one day we'll have video games and rappers on this stage.
I somehow don't think, especially when the venue first came to be used for sumo wrestling, I'm not sure they imagined this. I'm not sure anyone did, to be honest. But that's the beauty of life.
One of the sumo wrestlers, as he's being painted,
prophecy.
is said that one day we will see
Nerds on computers.
pixels where people have a little cross and they click and fake bullets go towards it. Like if they did do that, people would gone, he's lost.
That would be
here.
his last day as a sumo wrestler's first day in a
He's
mental
hit his
ward, I
head
think.
too hard as he slammed into the
Yeah.
ground.
You said nerdy gamers, right?
Yes.
Let's be
Yeah.
frank. Let's be honest right here.
Okay, go for it, Frank.
I'm going to be frank.
Bro, I'm Frank.
Japanese fans
Yeah.
are less nerdy than us.
I'm
They're cooler.
I'm gonna be honest.
Have you walked around Tokyo?
Yes, I have.
There are some sweaty gamers here.
There are. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
You saw
Going
it in
to
the
the
arcade.
arcade.
They had their own gloves, their own earphones.
Yeah, but they were cool.
Sorry, Ian.
Goddamn right they were cool.
See you later, Ian. Cut his mic.
I'll
Cut his
definitively,
production. Cut his mic.
Tom, I'll conclude this by saying everyone in this building is a massive nerd, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Yes.
To each their own.
Let's get into this, guys.
Except of course, Deeks.
Speaks. Ian Chambers.
I'm out of here.
Well, Ian's out, and now it's time to get the game back online. We've got 5-0 for C9, and as we said, it could be an important round for FENNEL coming into the next when they get those rifles back out. It was devastating losing round number 5.
For you.
What's that?
Do they get to C9-0?
Do they get to C
9-0.
9-0? Do C9 get to C?
Because you know the social media guys are already
9-0.
loading up the tweet.
Yes. The Photoshop is out. in full force.
C9-0. Get it? Because we're called C9.
Didn't see 100 Thieves tweet the 100L. That's
No, surprisingly
game is
not.
missed. But
They managed to steal 3 rounds from Foot, and that was all they got.
the way things are going right now, I would say yes. I honestly would expect to see a 9-0. C9 look absolutely unbelievable. There's not been a round where I think we're incredibly
did
close.
not break the alarm bar.
No, not close enough. Too far. It's been put up.
It's not sold any sort of ruse. That was kind of the goal, to sell the idea that they've crossed in this direction. It hasn't worked. Now, they are managing to wrap around through tree, and they have all just been hit by that knife.
Left.
It's so much information. They are up to 25 seconds. They're just making their way into A main now. The paranoia is clearing as well. Counter paranoia, but there's still a flash, and have actually gone wins the duel. But there's a second player there who they still need to deal with, and they're planting in a spot where it's wide open for their opponents. Rhea, well, it's too little too late. Even if he got this kill, I don't think it's going to matter too much. And Curry's there as well. 6-0, 3 away from C9-0. And FENNEL, well, right now it's a bit of a flop.
Yeah, I don't really mind that round, the plant position. Obviously, it looks silly to us seeing those players in heaven. But yeah, they saw 2 players in main. They thought, okay, there's 2 main. They're pushing main as well. There's probably not anyone heaven at this time. And they just hoped that they had the right timing on the round. But again, after seeing 3 players on short, there was no way that you wouldn't see that rotation come through. C9 are now in a really good spot, 6-0. But here's the rifles, right? That previous round was pistols, but we've got FENNEL, 4 ultimates online, Rifles in play. Odin spam. Looking gorgeous, Vanity. That was perfect. That was head height all the way. Unfortunately, there was no one there.
Yeah, it was perfect. That's why Rhea, 100 HP, Dariali.
There was no one there, Tom. He can't control their movements, all right? If they went that way. Yeah, but again, it's not his fault that they're not there, Tom. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes I play this role and they don't come B. And then what am I supposed to do? We'll retake A with it, obviously, but that's not easy when my teammates die so quickly. Luckily, Vanity doesn't have that problem. And that's the only difference between me and Vanity.
Definitely. Well, Suter, he's actually brought the operator up on this attack side with C9 pushing them quite regularly. I don't really blame him. Look at the position already of Oxy. Deep within B main. Odin homed in on towards mid. Already starting to try and spam their way through. 40 seconds left as they do look to go in this direction. The weaker of the two sites in terms of the numbers. Oxy's going to have to try and take down 2. Actually going to be shielded by the smoke. They look to run through it, but there we go. Gone. And leaving just Vanity left at the back of the site.
Recon broken as well. They weren't able to get anything with it, and now the flood comes in. Everybody's here from FENNEL, and they're winning the fights. That's the B site for them. The plant in, the pick onto Curry as well, and denial for Zeppa. Most likely to win a 1v5, already dead, so now it's on to Jake with 4 HP and a shock dart on his neck. Absolutely no way. C9-0 will not be happening today. It is 6-1.
Delete the tweet. Delete it.
Delete
I know you had, you had it loaded up. It was ready to go. Not quite today. But either way, a really good response. The fact that it was so clean, I don't know if it's necessarily something that will be recreatable. A bit more of a gamble into the A site in this round for C9 with Oxy ending up being surrounded because of the positions eventually being lost, but just getting that round on the board. Just that little bit of extra confidence. Operator as well for Ciota puts him on the score sheet. And bear in mind, versus Fnatic, he was 22-19, 9-5 in opening duels. So he had a superb performance. That was his first kill, and there's his second.
Very nice. An opening duel onto Oxy, a key player for the squad of C9. And also he's occupying mid. It means now these squads are split in a 2-2 setup, or at least they were. Vanity's rotated to A short, covering off this section that was a little bit more open. Even still, though, you know, that's kind of what Zeppa's doing. They're doubling up. They're gambling on it being an A play with Curry able to slow them, but he didn't get the lockdown in on time.
He was waiting to try and hit the timing right on the lockdown. And because of the knife, he hasn't been able to use it. Now, Jake is going to rotate in. Now the lockdown's going to be placed. And then this becomes a very awkward scenario. Hunter's Fury going to be used by that defenders, but they're pushing. They're pushing forward. Zeppa's just 1 HP. They're fighting in towards the spawn. And now Vanity is all that remains. FENNEL break back again with a second round in a row as they look to try and grind out a little more in this attack.
That was a really nice response as well, putting down their lockdown, getting the Hunter's Fury out of their opponents, and then making the call to push them, to run it down, to take that space. That's a confident play, and that's exactly what I want to see from FENNEL. They're not treating their opponent with too much respect. They're coming in and not being afraid to take those fights. The second round on the board, this attack side is starting to shape up, you know? They lose the pistol, and they can end up on a 7-5 scoreline, which I think is still possible, reasonable. And that's a fantastic fight back from them.
Wondered if maybe Ciota was going to try and just headshot him through the wall with the operator.
Can you imagine?
It would have been impressive.
Hello?
See again.
Hello?
It's going to be forced back out.
They're gone. They're leaving B main completely. They're going to start moving around. And it's the fact that A is wide open. Just a one-player Jake sat further back. The rotations are, okay, they're repositioning up towards heaven. They'll have more of a stack up here. And I think for C9, you know, they seem to be stacking up on A quite a bit and putting some of their players towards that side. But we're not getting the aggression out of them that we've seen in some of the previous rounds. It doesn't happen there. It doesn't happen on B.
They were very happy. There we go. It was the A main control that was really just causing problems for FENNEL, because then you can gamble a rotation away. If you leave this player here, it puts no real safe plant spots unless you dominate the entirety of the site. And it's definitely easier said than done. Much slower stuff for FENNEL. Now, what I've liked over the last couple of rounds is they've just been going together. Whatever the decision is, they've been following it to the letter. This time, 30 seconds left, slow, and expecting some sort of mistake. No opener this time around. like in the last with that operator. And in fact, Oxy is going to find that first kill and is dodging that Hunter's Fury almost to perfection. They know where he is, but he knows where they are as well.
That is just a masterful display of operator finesse, moving around the A site perfectly. And the movement, very much something to highlight. The shots hit were even more beautiful. That's one way to fight back. And, you know, we saw Oxy picked off first in that second round for FENNEL. Now he gets a say in the round. And, well, he's only got 3 deaths on the board, but 13 kills. I think that very much is a highlight of why.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, he was playing so aggressively throughout that sort of first 5 or 6 rounds that they basically waited to try and shut him down. This time he played passively. FENNEL had nothing. They were waiting for someone to make a move, someone to make a push. And then they tried to go for an execution with basically 20, 25 seconds left. It just wasn't really enough. And that's the thing. If C9 are patient, I've not seen enough from FENNEL's executions yet to really believe that they're going to be able to turn this into a decent half.
There it is. An attempt by Sayuta to replicate that, I think, round 8 opening pick, but no. That one was on mid. This one was a little too overzealous, jumping through the smoke.
The difference of the last couple of rounds in comparison is the pick he got was Oxy pushing mid.
Yes.
So now Oxy is adapted. He's stopped doing that. And if you're going to go facing a team, he's going to win these battles. And they're still leaving players lurking in positions. Like, even though they've not been as aggressive, C9, they are still always taking some form of map control. This time, in front of their own alarm bot, which, as we mentioned, they've not really done much in terms of destroying.
No flashes now, man. They used their paranoia, didn't push on the back of it, and now are left in this position where every fight is going to be a dry peak. Every duel has its disadvantage to it, and for C9, there's not a lot left to be done. It's a 5v0 before I can even get that out.
It's a 5v, never mind.
Yeah, just let's kill that point
it is
immediately.
5.
And you could see it because they had everything set up to close that round out after that initial mid fight. And I think once you lose, not only your flashes coming through from your paranoia used with no result, you have Klaus dying, so now you've no KO to initiate to info spot. It's such a difficult round to recover, and well, evidently, one they weren't capable of recovering.
Yeah, again, well, without Oxy going down early, it's looked like a very, very different story over the last few rounds. And well, this buy is very interesting. Gon's gone for Light Shield's Classic. I guess he's hoping that one of his teammates falls and he can get a gun for free. But one of those guns is running in on his own. It's Sayuta playing through short. The rest of the team are all stuck in onto B main. I think Sayuta might have just been seen as well and has had to fall back. Ria's also brought an attack side judge. Like, I made that joke earlier, and he's actually done it.
Why is Klaus here? He's left completely. The whole squad is now going to be rotating with him. Spike leading the way safely enough through the attacker spawn, sure, but as he gets towards B main, that's where the real danger is. Curry, a player who has consistently been putting up numbers, is now in position. He heard the steps. He knows exactly what's going on. Players outside B main, moving towards middle. They're ready for that contact. In fact, Vanity currently sat down on mid. Holding this control. He's actually wall banging through, trying to do some damage. I think he caught a few bullets onto Dariali.
I reckon Zeppa is so baffed that he's just peeked into short and faced a judge. Like, what? Yeah. Why has anyone got that? But almost manages to work.
Two players
again. But look at it. We're down to the 30-second mark as they're looking to execute in onto position. And this guy just is missing at the moment. Oxy looking to take it home. Support from Zeppa eventually comes in. Dariali. 1v4 judge clutch.
Yeah.
Even he's not using it at this point.
With 12 seconds left as well. The time is against him. But it's more about the players that are against him. That's where he needs to be worried. 4 seconds. He wants to die, and, well, Oxy grants his wish. 2 rounds so far for FENNEL. C9 up to 9. And again, it is very much worth noting. You know, Tom, we've got to cast in a bunch of different venues across the world, and I don't think anyone is like the Japanese crowd. We can hear it. I'm not sure how clear it is at home, but even when C9 win that round, there's a round of applause every single time. Like, the respect is off the charts. It's really, really nice.
Yeah, Oxy's having a great time. 17-3. We mentioned him as someone, as said, big boots to fill with obviously Leaf now leaving over and almost doing a straight swap with him heading on to G2. But the fact is, yeah, he's just been absolutely farming. When confident, definitely seems like young star within this C9 team. And wow, FENNEL might have had their moment in the sun by going toe-to-toe with Fnatic, but right now it's looking like a much more bleak outcome for them. Their defensive side is going to have to be nigh on perfect, and even then, it might not be enough with how little we've seen on the attack.
It's the fact that they make all those early aggressive plays and then completely change their playbook late into this half. It's hard to adapt to for the side of FENNEL. The adaptations they're making to what they're seeing, and then they see something else the next round. They want to push up this time and play towards the spawn, at least having a sneaky position by Sayuda. He's hearing steps and rotations, and just comes down to whether he thinks that's his moment to take space, because of course Vanity's still watching towards the spawn. FENNEL are poking and prodding at the rest of the map, hoping that they can open a little bit of space, leave a blind side for C9 that can be exploited, presumably by Sayuda. For now, that's not the case, and in fact, his position leads to a blind side on their side, and Xeppaa even predicts his spot. A perfect clear, an execution. Vanity, well, he's not had a good time on that. Curry's inside the nanos just to deal damage, and oh, they weren't expecting that. Oh, nice headshot, but it's through the wall. The Clouds is going to survive on the site and even get that spike planted.
It doesn't look like Oxy's giving this up, though. Paranoia has actually left the player behind him completely blind, and because of that, Oxy's able to get both kills. This man has not missed a beat throughout the entirety of this first half, and they're going to go in 10-2. Cloud9, I mentioned it earlier, that sometimes the Americas teams can start a little bit slow, and then that second game they come back swinging. C9, well, they've almost hit the knockout punch already.
Oxy is 19-3.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. The 2 rounds that they found are ones where they were able to drop him. Like,
the Japanese stream's not going to be happy because they had their ADA captain at the top, sorting by KDA.
Yeah, this guy's about to wreck that stat.
I don't know if that's going to work anymore.
He better die a lot in this coming half.
Yeah. Maybe the first game stats might balance it out a little bit.
Maybe.
But then you got to hope that ADA captain.
He's had 3 deaths for quite a while now. He keeps getting kills. Look, attack side, maybe it's not going to be so easy. He's going to have to dive on a sword a little bit more, but...
Yeah, he was super passive on that defense, you know, when he was dashing straight through.
He was never playing aggressive there, was he? But what started to work for him later on was just standing still, holding the angle, and punishing peaks, so...
That's the thing that is a little bit disappointing for me. It's like, it seemed like in the early rounds, FENNEL were getting shut down by the fact that C9 being so aggressive. They then adapted, caught them, and then... when C9 changed again, they didn't have that next level to go back to. They were so worried that someone was going to push. We saw most rounds going down to the 30-second mark and them just getting slaughtered.
Yeah, and you've got, you know, Paranoia, 2 flashes. You've got your Sova as well for a lot of entry and info clearing. That's somewhere that I think you have the tools to deal with Oxy, or at least to make it a lot more difficult for him to find that kind of space and that kind of easy, those kind of easy fights. But the reality is that, you know, they weren't able to think on their feet like that. They weren't able to come up with the punishes. And now for C9, this massive lead might just take them through to tomorrow, to the BO3s, save their tournament life. You remember, on stage for the rest of the day, we're going to have 2 games on the stage, 2 games played in the background, and they'll still be on the stream and still broadcast here, but obviously for setup times, we've covered this. But the idea is that the losers matches, the ones who will see elimination, are on that stage. So for C9, they've come very close to earning their spot further into this tournament. For FENNEL, it's got to be devastating to have such a close game against Fnatic and now see this. But it's also the benefit of C9 being able to watch that Fnatic game. They have a lot of ideas of how FENNEL like to approach the map, how they see it breathing. And that's allowed them to get a chokehold on this so far. Nice kills, good damage returned. Curry even able to grab a frag.
But that's the thing. That was Jake managed to double dink 2 different players. Didn't get either of the kills, but it leaves players desperately low on the FENNEL side. Oxy, he's heard someone's low. He wants to pad those stats a little bit further. Under a little bit of pressure, but wow, seemingly not. He's actually taken 0 damage, looking out to see if anyone's pushing behind him. Finally, the shock dart connects, but so does his final bullet. 1 left in the clip. Well, now Ciota, there you go. That's at least 1, but he needs so much more. Rhea, the final man, left standing to try and turn this round back, give his team a little bit of hope. but it is seeming like C9 are going to go from 0 pistols in that last series. Maybe not. Rhea somehow made this one competitive. Vanity's utility belt is dry, but he definitely has the HP advantage, and his opponent has absolutely no idea. 2 pistols, 1 from C9, and they are running away with this.
Yeah, look, that is going to be a nail in the coffin, one of the last to be applied, unless C9 fall victim to what we saw in the previous matchup of losing out to those pistols. This is very much not going to be a happy story for FENNEL in any way, shape, or form. There's a nice game of whack-a-mole, though. Look at this shot. He didn't even have an idea that Zeppa was that close anymore. That's such a good reaction. Unfortunately, another was needed. And that one proved to be too difficult.
Oh,
they've ecoed this one.
Yeah, what sort of? Rhea's gone for a judge. Oxy's done the same. Only one of them's going to have impact in this round, and unless he's got a great retake judge, which the only way he does is if C9 get very, very over-aggressive.
So I think Gon used the smoke on that turret, but I think the turret spotted them already. Still, though, might be able to get some good space closing up.
The thing is, they're all within the site anyway, so that's, yeah, you're right. The only thing they can really do is play for exits at this stage. And actually, the smoke ran out and told them that they're there anyway. Yeah, they had to destroy it. Now, look, if they go towards main, they've got 2 players. But if they go this way, oh, they've spotted Rhea. They've even seen the judge. And you know what Oxy did? Dashed into it and swung it. That's just disrespectful. He's going for a Blade Storm. The thing is, they gave him the Bulldog. He's actually going to push this all the way. He's going to give them a Bulldog. Yeah. But the thing is... Oh, never mind. No Bulldog for you. Okay. I guess all in all, the thing is actually saving a Bulldog when you're going to have a 4-buy in the next round anyway. True. It is not really worth it. But now you're going to have, by the looks of it, Rhea maybe having to buy the judge again. Nope. He's got a Bulldog. So, yeah, a little unfortunate going down to the spike. But, you know, these things happen. They didn't know exactly where it was planted. But that's the thing. For the players that died to the spike, it was worth dying to the spike, because otherwise, like, Rhea would have had to buy a Bulldog anyway, and then you would have still had a Bulldog. So yeah. For sure, you'd have 2 Bulldogs instead. Now, the thing is, Oxy, this is why it was worth it. I was going to say because he's going to pick up the orb, but he actually just dashed in with a, with a judge. He didn't care about his Blade Storm. I think he might take it now, though. Yeah, there you go. Blade Storm online. And popped immediately for C9, 12-2, 10 chances to close out this map, lock in a spot tomorrow in the quarterfinals. And it's, well, things have been going incredibly well so far. FENNEL need to step up here and now. Gone already to 44 HP. As C9 closed in on short, the judge comes out for Oxy, but he's spammed in the back. 72 health now, very low. Headshot delivered. That's all he's getting. And what a response this has been from the side of FENNEL. Really nice mid-crunch. That leaves C9 with not a lot to do. Vanity's even going to struggle to get towards A, this one bit of space they've got. He's going to hear that they've all... Oh, no. Oh, no! Okay. Took a little bit of a wall bang. Now this turns back into a 2v2. Bear in mind as well, those were the healthy players. They killed the healthier of the players. That's bad luck, if anything. And already the peek back out, almost, from Jake. But even still, it puts Gon on just 4 HP. This is very, very winnable for Vanity. It's going to have to be the wiki wild, wild west for this man. He's coming in just with a sheriff in hand. And look, you don't want to see his hand where his hip be at. But for FENNEL, they might not get to see too much. This man's quick on the trigger. 4 HP and 57 on the way back through. Things are desperate, and the Desperados will try to defuse that spike in just a few seconds. They have no idea where Vanity is. A shroud covering him right now. The fog of war very much in play, and that is to his advantage. One shot to the body, all that's needed. He misses it to start. No shock darts left. Recon out. He has no idea where they are. They're closing the distance. Wall bang, and another! Vanity makes it work with a sheriff in hand. 13-2. An unbelievable bounce back for C9 after a shaky opening series. It got the revenge against the Japanese squad, with FENNEL falling here. That is the end of their run in RedBull home ground. Yeah, you made a few references in that last round, but all I can say is that one was a real slap in the face. for FENNEL.
I'd give